What's going on YouTube? The Last Musketeer here, coming at you with part 2 of the Arknights free-to-play Is It Worth It series. Now as we go into day 2, the main thing is I'm going to show you my starting roster, show you a few of the battles, how I lay things out. I'm not going to show you them all because overall this video turned out to be very long and I tried to cut out as much as possible, so I don't even think I show you a full stage at any course, just kind of the ending, where I started, where I'm ending. So this is 1-1, which is where we left off in the first video, and I'm already looking back and seeing so many mistakes, but I drop in Earth Spirit in the worst position where she can't get healed and she just gets knocked out without really even being able to do anything. So luckily as time goes on I start to understand more and more, and on 1-5 I'm starting to see just kind of the way they make you change your roster over and over again, because certain places through some missions you may be able to use the same roster over and over again, but other ones are going to be a little more demanding on your melee units because you need more blocking. Sometimes it's going to be less worried about melee units and more about keeping them alive and doing damage with range units. So it kind of throws in a mix every little bit just to try to kind of keep you on your toes. But I'm going to go ahead and do a second pull on this banner because I guarantee a 5-star, and I really want to do this newbie banner, get it out of the way, see what I can possibly get. And no 6-star, but I did pull 3 5-stars. I don't know how rare that is, if that's really good. I would imagine it's pretty decent, but all of them being, of course, usable heroes. Now, but adding these new units to my roster, I go in and try to level them up and make some changes. Platinum here has been so crucial to my playthrough. She actually carried me so far. Extremely good DPS, at least in my eyes, because obviously I don't know a bunch of the units overall, so this one in particular has been really good. But Skyfire, I went overzealous and leveled her up a lot, and as you'll see later in the video, I promoted her. I think there's better options early on because she costs a little bit to get up, and her promotion talent turned out to not be as cool as I thought it would be because it drops meteors instead of just doing an attack up. Problem is it takes a long time to build up. So overall, probably would have been better off going with Lava, the 3-star. While won't have as great of stats, 3-star promotion costs a lot less resources compared to a 5 or 6-star or even a 4-star, and it'll probably do the job that I need her to do early on because these are the low levels, so it's not as important to have the higher rarity units. But I get to fight my first leader in 1-8, and it's the red-haired girl that you see going around. I might have fought her in a different stage, I don't remember. I don't think you actually beat them up until the point they might retreat or something, but you'll find the leaders to be very annoying. Some of them may be really heavy hitters, really tanky. Her, for instance, she was annoying, stopped me from getting 3-star early on because she teleports behind some of your blockers, and so you have to set up a more of a wall to keep her in one spot for a while. Luckily, if you check the map beforehand on some of these things, you'll see they show you the actual direction and when they stop prior to moving to the next spot, so you can kind of map out beforehand. So a lot of the features they have really good, but we ended going into chapter 2. So now on day 3 I decided to take a little break from that and do some the event quest. The one thing I do love is that the event seems to be themed around music, more so like classical music. So you go into these stages and it's playing some classical music, but it's revamped, remixed to sound a little more dramatic, so it's really cool. Also the realigned flux, so you'll see that beam of light that travels out from that machine, goes into my unit, comes out the other side. So you place them in that light, face them a certain direction, the beam then shoots out of that direction, and you can bounce them off these whisperer walls like you see there in the bottom right corner that points up. So you can have them traveling through units or bounce them off walls into other units, and what that does is the units that are in it will take extra damage if they are not in the flux. So you have to kind of strategize around that. Not to mention that certain things that walk through that you block take way less damage, so way higher stats, way higher resist if they're not inside the flux. so you kind of have to really map out and really strategize before going in. Probably a good idea to go into the practice mode and try around with that, since it only costs 1 energy. Really cool feature though. I don't know how much of the events have specific things like that, but it's something I found really enjoyable and also really frustrating at the same time, because it got a lot harder as I moved into like the 4th mission. That's, I think, where I'm at. It is the 3rd or 4th one, because it does ramp up in difficulty quite a bit. From here, I'm just showing you some of the clips of the resource missions that you can do outside of the regular campaign, where you're just farming for specific material. Do be in mind that not everything is open every day. Certain ones will be open, the others will not. So you have to kind of plan what you're trying to take up, especially when it comes to the actual promotion chips that you get, because certain days, some of them may open. Weekdays, I don't know if it's Sunday, I think they're all open, but do plan around that accordingly, because if you're needing specific ones to promote, you may not have that day. It could hinder your progress a bit if there's a certain thing, like vanguards for instance, that you're missing. You'll notice as you're going through these that the progression ramps up in difficulty quite a bit, which is a good thing, and it is for resources, so understandably so, but do beware that there are big jumps in the actual difficulty, so make sure that you're getting as much of the leveling for your heroes and promoting the specific ones you need, so that you don't waste resources. Because early on, I don't know how much it is later on, and because if you get the higher stages, it may be you're more apt to have what you need, but currently I'm running out of a lot of resources, mainly because I was dumb about how I did it and went through getting some of the higher tier units up before doing the 3 stars. But do keep in mind, it seems like getting resources as a strategy in itself, making sure you're maintaining. Now, some of the side missions are a little strange, this one being Chernobog, where it's like an endless wave until you get to, I guess, the last enemy, and there's 400 in total on that map. I got to 141, obviously this is early on, I still didn't know what I was doing, but it has a specific mechanic in which you can't get deployment points naturally. So the way you counteract that is vanguards that give you deployment points on kill or over time through their skills. So I'm realizing more and more as time goes on just how important Vanguard is. I know it's not as tanky, it doesn't deal as much damage as a guard, but they are there specifically to help you early on in the match. Basically, the takeaway is use them. Do not make the same mistake I did early. But anyway, moving on to the actual pulling here. I got a couple 5 stars from this as well. I know if you're a free-to-play player and you're watching this, it's probably kind of hard to watch me just pull at random on a banner and not save up like my OP, but do realize that I'm on a limited amount of time. The series goes on for 5 videos, 4 weeks in total, so I want to try to get as many pulls on a specific banner as I can, so people can kind of see what it looks like, what the average drop rate of everything is, because I don't know the rates. I'm not sure if or when I will get the actual 6-star hero, so I'm just going to try to pull as much as I can. I know it's not a good idea, but that's what I'm going for. But anyway, on these recruitment tags on day 4, I'm showing you some of them. I made a mistake here. I could have built the office and I completely forgot, so I didn't have rerolls. Make sure you do that. As soon as you can do it, get the office so you can get those rerolls. Look up a calculator, a guide, perhaps to try to get the best tags that work together, because the more like 4 stars and up that you can pull, the more resources you get to spend in the actual store. So very good, very smart idea to actually look up something for that. I went into some of the event quests. I guess these are past events that you can unlock and play with these event tokens, and I think that they give you extra, or maybe it replenishes 1 at a time. You can hold 2, but it's like every Monday at a certain time. So hopefully that was the case. Maybe I misread it. Hopefully not. I want to be able to unlock as much of the content as I can going forward, but the events that you unlock are really cool. It seems like I'm always getting some type of hero from them, like a 5-star hero. I don't know if that's specifically the case all the time, but anytime I can get a free hero as a free-to-play, I'm going to be happy, so regardless of how it goes, I do like what I'm seeing so far. For the current event that's going on, you do missions to grab the sheet music, and you can get them from the stages, first clear, just running the stages, or you can get the missions that you get on the side, but you can spend them on all these different resources, so it looks pretty stacked. If you can do a lot of them, you have plenty of time to soak into it, then you're going to get a lot of resources out of it. Very cool. Hopefully they do that every event. I'm sure they do, but it's very nice to see. This is actually the challenge mode of missions. So once you beat them and you 3-star them, you have a chance to go back and do the challenge mode. Now if a single hero, or a single enemy, sorry, gets through, then you lose the challenge mode and you have to try again. That being said, if you do complete the challenge, you get an Originite Prime. And I'm sorry if I say things wrong or give the wrong name for certain terms, because I do play a lot of series and sometimes they all mesh together and I completely forget which is which at times. So do bear with me on that. If I say something wrong, so you can let me know in the comment. But I'm doing another summon on the Ebon Holes banner and I pull another 5-star. Now in the limited time banners, as you're going through, it doesn't say, I think other than maybe the first pull, that you're guaranteed a 5-star. So at times, you're going to pull 4-star units and lower only, and that's going to feel pretty bad, but do understand that it is a specific banner and it has different rules than some of the other banners. This is one of the challenge runs that actually gave me a lot of problems. Not because it was inherently hard in general, it's just the fact that everything was so fast that at times my rangers couldn't kill the actual aerial units before they ended up passing through. But I did find out that for challenge mode you can use friend support units, so if you have a high level friend, throw in their support and get it done, because you can't play the mission after it's been completed, so all you're worried about is just completing it. As opposed to a regular campaign match where if you use a support unit, even if you get 3 stars, you can't auto-play it with someone else's support unit, as far as I know. I could be wrong on that as well, but I would imagine not. So make sure you're using yours only on regular campaign, unless you specifically need help from a support unit to get one done, because you can always go back and play it later. But as far as it goes, if you're wanting to farm specific things for promotion materials, you're really going to need to try to do it with your own units. So day 5, we beat chapter 2, we're going into 3, and this is adding more and more caveats to the actual strategy, because now there are bushes. Now these are good, very good, especially because you can throw your ranged units up there and they can't be seen, even if they're attacking. So basically you can throw stuff up there, they're immune from damage, so you only got to really worry about healing certain things. Now later on you start running into these people that have detection, and so you can't necessarily get away with not having healer setting next to some, but you kind of plan around that. Also introduces invisible units. Only see them whenever you're blocking. I don't know if there's an actual hero that has some type of detection. Maybe there is. I'd have to see if I can find one. I'm not sure. I don't think I have any on my actual roster, but it is really cool. In general, the stuff they add, while it can be frustrating at times, it adds a whole new level to your overall strategy and planning. It makes for harder and harder content, which I do like. I love scaling content. I don't want to be put in the same niche over and over again. I want to say a quick shout out to Bardcore. He's one of the friends that I had added that I used his Gnosis so many times through my playthrough so far. He has carried me through so many of the challenges and whatever. This unit hits like a truck, but as you see there, even with using him, I still lost. So it's important to strategize first and foremost, but having that little bit of support does help tremendously. Now, one thing I did want to talk about though was I was kind of confused with this contingency. It is way harder content than I expected, and it unlocked the same time I did got on chapter 3 unlocked, so I thought maybe I'd be able to do the early levels of this. No, this was insanely difficult. I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. At some points these shielded units would run through, and even with like 5 of my strongest units attacking, they just could not take them down, so I'll have to figure more out as that goes. It just seemed a little weird, a little overly difficult for the timing. But I go for another summon, and this time I get another 5-star, and it's Hibiscus the Purifier. Now, Hibiscus is a 3-star unit, but apparently there's different versions of certain heroes that you can get, and she's really cool. She's a healer that heals based off the damage she does. Really cool ability. I don't think, back when I played it back in the day, I don't think there was a hero that did this. I could be wrong, but a really cool thing. Also, free skins. Definitely a great thing. I don't care if it's for a 3-star. That's awesome. Anytime I get a free skin is a cool thing, because I do like skins. And also, the autoplay, I lost this one, and I had farmed it probably like 10 or so times before, and I just didn't win that time. And I'm not sure why, but I thought I'd leave that in there, because you can potentially lose those for some reason. But also this clip, I wanted to show this off because nostalgia reasons. When I played back in the day, this is one of the first 6-stars that I actually pulled, and she was so good. I don't know if she's still like really good in the meta or what, but she was insane back in the day. Had insane amounts of range and did so much damage. I'm pretty sure it was AoE as well, so just would destroy everything. But I ended up popping through 3-3, and then 4, 5, and 6 were super easy. I did them first try. I would go through and look at the map, do a little planning beforehand. Obviously I don't know what heroes are there, but I do 3-7, catch an L, do it again, catch another L. I'm losing over and over again. I try to do some planning. I don't show the next clip, but I lose again, even though I thought I had the correct strategy, or at least what I thought would be good. But as you see here, I was just playing through, got all the dailies done without even noticing. It was really quick, and I did a few levels on this event, and like I was talking about earlier, free 5-star just from completing some of the content. That's awesome. Anytime I can get something free, I'm all for it. I did unlock this one with my other event token because it looked really cool. I like the idea of the story, and it has a lot of story to it. I was reading through part of it, and it was like 5 minutes long before I got through all the reading just for episode 1. But this is me logging in on day 7, guys, and the actual anniversary gifts are insane. The amount of stuff I got out of this was crazy. A lot of the stuff I can't even use until much later on, but hopefully if you're thinking about trying this game and haven't started it yet, I would advise getting on. I don't know if you'll get it if you make your account after this point, but hopefully you do. But this is an overview of what my account currently looks like. Shining and Swire are both my two favorite right now. Platinum is probably my 3rd favorite, but so I took them up beforehand. They cost more resources. It's probably a better idea overall for me to go through 3 and 4 stars first, but I really wanted to take those up because they've been so nice for my account. But overall, it's not looking too bad. I've got a good amount of operators, and I'm hoping to add some more higher rarity to it. Probably not exclusively work on them yet, but you know, I've got a couple of maxed out 3 stars. I've got some that are really close. I got a couple 4 stars I think that are almost maxed out. So you know, I'm about to get into a lot more resources as time goes on. I'm excited about all that. I'm excited to see what I can do as time goes forward. But this is a current overview of my base. Not much has gone on. I'm doing what I can. I've leveled up some of them to level 2, but anyway guys, the video's gone on long enough. I'm gonna end the video here. So this has been The Last Musketeer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.